All right, welcome back to Race Ready, Road to Boulder, episode 8. Dang, is it 8 already? Man, every time I do these videos and I realize what week it is, and these weeks just fly by. So right now it's the 10-week mark. We're 10 weeks out for the marathon in Boulder, Colorado. Now, that was the whole reason for this series, was the journey to Boulder, Colorado, and I'm actually going to be racing with Adley. All right, just finished the swim with my boy Adley. Yeah. I've known Adley since he was 7 years old, for the new people catching up, and he is currently going to college in Boulder, Colorado, and he's actually graduating this year. So this race is going to be the celebration of him graduating and leaving Colorado. So that is the reason for the half Ironman in Colorado. Now, the last 3 weeks has been focused on the marathon running with Rosa. And if you haven't seen those videos, please look back. Episode 7, episode 5 and 7 were the marathon. We did 2 marathons in 14 days. So check out the videos, they're pretty awesome. And I'm very proud of Rosa. So let me discuss some of my thoughts in the marathon. So in Napa, we ran a 5 hours and I believe 22 minutes. That was the finish time. And then at the LA Marathon, we finished 5 hours and 27 minutes. And although the goal was not to go for speed, it was just to finish. But we were doing really, really, really good time. And if it wasn't for 2 incidences, I think that we could have beaten that 5 hour 22 mark. I mean, it wouldn't have been by much, but I think we could have finished maybe 5:15, 5:10. And the 2 things that stopped us or slowed us down was, number 1, we had to use the restroom. And we used the restroom somewhere around mile 6 in Echo Park. And what took so long is that because there was 25,000 people, no matter which bathrooms that we ran or that we approached, I think like every 3 miles there were bathrooms. There were lines. I mean, lines to use the restroom. So when we stopped to use the restroom, it took us a good maybe 5 minutes out of running time. So I think that was our 17-minute mile that we did. So, and then the other thing was around mile 23, Rosa started to experience cramps in her legs. So there was a couple times where we had to stop, and I was massaging her calf for about a couple seconds, and then we'd run a little bit, and then it would cramp up again, and then I'd massage her for a little bit. So we had to stop maybe 3 times for cramps. And, I totally understand. Like I said, we ran the Napa Marathon 2 weeks prior. So, we're not seasoned runners. We're just hobbyists, and having 2 back-to-back marathons was extremely difficult on the body. And that was the reason, for the fatigue and the cramping that Rosa experienced. So it was no big deal. Again, we weren't looking for time, but we realized towards the end that we were close to beating our time. So I am extremely proud of Rosa. She is amazing. For those people who haven't been following along, last year, Rosa and I ran a marathon and a half. We'll call it a marathon 3/4. The 3/4 was a mistake. We took the wrong bus, so we were behind and we never got to finish the marathon. I think we stopped around mile 22. And the first official finish was Eugene, Oregon. It was at that time, that was our biggest marathon. It was 10,000 people. So, we ran those marathons last year, And this was Rosa's first time competing as an athlete. You know, she never did anything prior to that. So finishing this marathon was big. And then to do it again next year or this year, to do one, scheduled one, and then have another one that she decided to do like a week before the marathon that we had scheduled, she wanted to do another one. So I am very, very proud of Rosa to, step up to the plate and run a marathon. And not just that, but to then do another one 14 days later. Now, when we were at the airport headed home, we had we come to the conclusion that probably wasn't the smartest thing, because again, we're just fatigued and tired, but we had a great time. And as a trainer, I am extremely, extremely proud of Rosa. So I just wanted to say, I've told her, but I haven't told her in front of everyone how proud I am of her. So Rosa, I am extremely proud of you. You performed amazing. So again, I'm proud of you. And if you guys watched last video, she said that this was her last marathon of the year. And then I also said, I doubt it. And actually I was right. So she has signed up for the lottery to run the New York Marathon. So I think, don't get my number, don't take my word for it, but I think there's like 50, if not 60, 70,000 people in New York running the marathon. So if she thought that LA was crowded, New York is going to even be more crowded. So I hope that she gets picked to do this New York Marathon in November 3rd. Unfortunately, I won't be there with her, but I think she has enough experience now where she can venture on by herself, doing these marathons by herself. So we will keep you guys updated on her marathon journey. And now for here on out, like I said earlier, it's just going to be focused on the half Ironman. This week, I had to get back to Ironman training. So, we ran the marathon on Sunday. By Tuesday, by Monday, I was already back into training. So, getting back into the brick workouts, getting back on the bike, I've already been running, so continuing to run. So it's going to be an easy transition, or has been an easy transition. And now, I really miss swimming. So I've done, like I said, a lot of running, but I miss the swimming. And I think that's still my weak point when it comes to the 3 disciplines. So back to swimming, back to the half Ironman training, and we will keep you guys updated and posted. All right, so welcome back. All right, so what I wanted to talk about real quick is my recovery. Not just my recovery, but recovery in athletes. Now, if you've been following since the beginning, you have seen from the preparation for the Ironman, I did several different videos on the different recovery methods that I use to take care of my body, especially with all the training that I'm doing. How have I been able to avoid any type of major injury pretty much in a year and a half that I've been training for all these triathlons. And one of the consistent methods that I think is extremely important is foam rolling. Foam rolling and traditional static stretching. Or you can use dynamic stretching, which is totally fine. But foam rolling and correcting, the certain deviations that one has in certain joints, whether it's the leg joints, arm joints, finding the deviations, rolling out the muscle that needs to be rolled out, stretch out the muscle that needs to be stretched out. That is one of those things that is done for the rest of your life. When I teach people how to foam roll and how to stretch, one of the most common questions I get is, how long do I do this for? And I go, how much time, or when do you stop doing it? And they're like, well, when do you stop? I'm like, never. You need to take care of your body for the rest of your life. And once you learn, there should be no stopping. And there are other methods that I use as well. But I think the two main things are stretching and foam rolling. If you don't have that in your workout program, then I think you need to reassess your workout program and implement foam rolling and stretching. I'm telling you, I think foam rolling is the fountain of youth. And then there are other methods that I use a little bit more on the extreme side. And I say extreme because it needs some type of machine or technology. And the power plate. I love the power plate. I have one at the studio and one at home in the living room. It's a must. Expensive machines, but if you have one or if you have access to one, you're definitely going to need to utilize that machine. You can do anything and everything on that machine. You can static stretch on the machine, you can foam roll on the machine, you can just relax and take the vibration as a massage on the machine. Anything and everything you can think of, it's amazing. So that's a must. I also do red light therapy, and the red light therapy is just standing in front of a red light, allowing the red light to penetrate the body, the skin, and that's the rejuvenation of the cell. So that, again, fancy, expensive if you have the light, but definitely worth having and implementing in a daily or at least a weekly thing to do. And I recently been introduced to the hyperbaric chamber. Oh, I love the hyperbaric chamber. Sitting in there in a little small chamber and just consuming oxygen. And that, so after the Napa Marathon, when I went to my first session, Rosa went out and looked to see if we have one nearby. And there's a rehabilitation center or recovery center called Restore in Los Gatos. And so now we go there for our recovery. So we do, hyperbaric chambers there. So I just wanted to give you some examples of some of the things that I do and Rosa has done too. And that's, I think, one of the main reasons why we've avoided any type of injury in this last year and a half that we've been training. So highly recommend. I'll make sure to have videos attached to some of the descriptions that I'm talking about so you guys have an understanding what I'm talking about. So just wanted to express that recovery is just as important as the workout. So please implement it. If not, I think you are really, really missing a key ingredient when it comes to fitness. So those are my thoughts.